It is a pleasure to introduce to you this evening our valedictorian. He's a man of integrity and he knows how to weigh his word well. He's an independent thinker who is not afraid to speak respectfully and eloquently on matters of interest and concern to himself and the board. He's a man of humility. He's a father. He's a keen listener and a team player. He's our first vice president, and he's also the chair of our education committee. He's an engineer and a computer scientist and an HR practitioner. In his current role, he is Director of Human Resources, Security and Corporate Services at Jamalco. He's also the chairman of the Board of Trustees and sponsor trustee of Alco Minerals of Jamaica Salaried Pension Plan. And recently at Jamalco, there was a fire that really brought that institution to a halt. And he was also in the middle of all of that. And more recently, we saw in the news where Jamalco was recently bought by another overseas entity. All this he had to manage while still serving and attending classes here. But despite all the time-consuming activities, he was able to complete successfully this program and to earn the title of Certified Board Member. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our valedictorian and a fine human being, Christopher Buckmaster.
Unmute yourselves, everybody, and say, "Go, Chris! Go, Chris! Come on!"
Yeah,
Come on.
Chris!
Chris!
Louder, louder! Go, Chris!
Go, Chris! Go, Chris! Go, Chris!
Go, Chris!
Go, Chris! Go, Chris!
Yes.
Congratulations, boss.
Congratulations.
All right. So, Mr. Chris, for 1 second, as I meet everybody, and then I give you the right to go ahead. Yes. Chris, something that Mr. Austin did not mention, he wouldn't notice anyway, but Chris is the most improved in the program. Based on the challenges he was going through, he fell behind and we had a little concern. And in the last, maybe Usain Bolt is your brother, because in the last few meters, man, you just, you know, you just went ahead. So we want to really honor you for that. Please go ahead and give us your speech.
Thank you very much, Alex and President Austin and everyone. And a very pleasant good evening, good day, wherever you are. As the president said, my name is Christopher Buckmaster, a member of the graduating class and the director of the CNWJ Cooperative Credit Union headquartered in Kingston, Jamaica. Allow me then to give a special shout out and congratulations to my fellow directors, other volunteers and management at CNWJ. Special congratulations to my fellow credit union colleagues and graduates out of St. Lucia. I stand here today a proud graduate. But above all, I stand here today proudly representing all graduates who have persevered to this point of achievement. We did it. I'm representing the first cohort of a full board of directors, that of CNWJ, to undergo and successfully complete the Board of Directors Transformational Certification Program offered by the International School of Greatness in partnership with the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions and the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. I'm representing the full board where each member has wonderfully earned the Certified Board Member designation. This, I assure you, will be displayed proudly along with our other qualifications as part of our names. I'm representing the most competent, diverse, and fit-for-purpose board of directors assembled in the credit union movement in Jamaica and probably the wider Caribbean. I'm representing a cohort that has battled Alex and the faculty team from the School of Greatness with the seemingly unending online courses. First it was 5, then 6, then it was 7. Guests and faculty lecturers, after module exacting surveys with their mandatory 500-word essays. Daily WhatsApp groups discussion on a diverse range of topics issued by Alex. Board and management evaluation survey, discussion on survey results, discussions and presentation of final projects. Yes, we did this all in 3 months. And together as this board, with our purpose, dedication, and fight, crossed the finish line together. Yes, I'm representing today and proudly so. What an accomplishment. And Alex, on behalf of the graduates, I can report to you that we get it. We know what leadership is. It is ringing in our ears, tormenting our sleep. Leadership is a spirit that must be ignited by purpose, sustained by passion, and guided by principle. This is more than a definition. It is also a philosophical statement. But if you know Alex, it really is in the way that it is communicated. Leadership is a spirit. Yeah, we got that. Ignited by purpose. Thank you, Alex. Sustained by passion. Thanks again, Alex. Guided by principle. Yes, we totally got it. It follows then, and we're convinced that leadership is not position, nor popularity, prosperity, or power. Those errors of perception will no longer be made. There's no denying the quality of the content that was this course, and maybe over content for those of us who thought that we were going into another part-time short course that we would just wait out to the point of receiving a certificate of participation. There was no denying the relevance of the material and the embedded activities that added value to the team dynamics of the board, management, and overall credit union. It was a full treatment on leadership as opposed to management, while bringing awareness to our inherent potential for greatness by introducing us to ourselves. For me, the real value of the course was not only in the content, the leadership and management theories, or even the post-module discussions intended to reinforce those concepts, but in us being required to practically use all that we have learned, plus our current knowledge and experience in our final projects. The focus of the project was to improve the current situation of the credit union, specifically in terms of the relationship between board and management, and in charting a course that would position the organization not only to remain number one, but to fulfill its potential as a force to be reckoned with, not only in the Jamaican financial sector, but in the wider Caribbean and even the world. Coming out of the presentations of the 5 groups and the subsequent discussions and plans that we have developed, I can report that we, as a board, are seized with the vision of a greater credit union through a path of greater strategic focus and excellence. This is a path that we are passionate about, a path that we believe will deliver our current and emerging objectives. I will now summarize the main takeaways from the presentations of the 5 groups, plus one of the initiatives that is currently being undertaken by the board. And the first area is board and management relationships. One of the activities of the course was the performance evaluation survey, which the board members were asked to do of itself, as well as to assess management and vice versa, where management did an assessment of themselves and the board. We have reviewed the summary results of the assessment management did of us. And we want to quickly say that we welcome the feedback. We thank management for providing such a frank and open assessment of our performance. As we say in Jamaica, there's no defensiveness around here. There's no defensiveness in reviewing and developing action plan to address the issues raised. This was the project focus of directors Pete Smith and Delroy Foster, who reminded us in their final report of that quote from Peter Drucker, which states that culture eats strategy for breakfast. Culture then should not be our masters. We are open and receptive to the changes that will improve our collective leadership of the credit union. Though our roles differ, we have the same ultimate goals and objectives, and the way that we interface and collaborate with each other is crucial to achieving this. In fact, your feedback came at an opportune time when we were in overhaul mode. We have been examining ways to become more effective and efficient and to lead this noble organization more strategically. This group presented concrete proposals on how we can better interface with and improve the relationship between the board and management. Their recommendations paid special attention to improving work-life balance for all concerned. We acknowledge that improved work-life balance will support increased work output and productivity. We further recognize that less supervisory type interaction will improve morale and management engagement. We will be adjusting the supervisory strategic approach dial. Be assured, management, that we trust your competence and professionalism and your ability to deliver. The work of the other groups in their different areas of focus try to answer the question, what type of organization are we becoming if we objectively assess our current conditions plus plans and activity, and compare that to what we are to become if we are to meet or exceed all our short and long-term objectives and remain the #1 credit union in Jamaica while setting our focus on becoming #1 outside of Jamaica. And one of the first areas we looked at was youth inclusion. Like most organizations, we are preoccupied with the question of how to attract and retain the new generation, specifically the Gen Z, and to a lesser extent, the millennials. We recognize that they do present some differences, and the sooner we understand this generation gap, the better we will be able to implement the strategies to make inroads into this growing segment of the population. In their final report, Directors Georgine Edwards Fullerton and Sean Neil James presented some sobering statistics, which included the average age of our members are in the range of 45 to 50 years. 32% of our memberships are 55 years and older. Only 15% are in the age groups 25 to 34 years, and a lesser 5% in the age group 18 to 24. They also pointed out that 28% of the Jamaican population, or about 800,000 Jamaicans, are in the age group 15 to 29. This is a big market. If nothing else, this calls for immediate action. We can see the potential for growth in these numbers. One thing we can say is that the credit union that will be #1 in the next 5 to 10 years will be the one that was able to implement effective strategies to attract and retain the Gen Zs and make inroads with the millennials. The group directed that further studies be required to understand the social habits and approach to life of these groups and how to meet them where they're at. to develop strategies based on their education, their preference for the digital environment, their approach to entertainment, work, money, assets, and savings. What products and services would they find attractive? And generally, how to engage and make members of these generation. Financial reporting. I am certain that management will agree that there are just too many reports, and that there are just too many reports that are required on a monthly basis. Director Suzette Downey and Raymond Hernandez, along with faculty Lydia Courtney Francis, looked at this. They have concluded that there are opportunities for improvements in the number and required frequency for many of the reports. They have made recommendations on some of the tactical reports to the board that could be discontinued and others whose frequency could be revised, all in the interest of greater efficiency of board meetings without compromising without compromising the board's ultimate oversight responsibilities. We have recognized that many of these reports are generated as they have been done historically, and as such may be of another time and motivation. Board structure and system. The team of Austin Brown, Winston Green, and yours truly took a look at this very important aspect of board operation and made a number of proposals to enhance the 7-step board life cycle. The group affirmed that the credit union must be led by a board that has been strategically designed and selected with the mix of skills, experiences, and competencies that provide effective oversight and the vision to position the organization to optimize its future potential. The vacancies on the board and credit union committees must be treated as such. These vacancies should be filled from a pool of ready reserves, selected based on the identified skill, experience, and diversity gap which forms part of the current condition. The reserve pool should be trained and brought to a level of readiness to seamlessly transition to the board and credit union committees. The number and types of board committees should be reviewed, and selection for committee duties must ensure even distribution of the persons on the board. Training and development, succession planning, board member evaluation, retirement and welfare issues should be formalized with responsibility assigned to a board position or committee. All this in support of the board operating as a system that self-generates growth and progress. Ethics and governance. Being a financial cooperative that is owned and operated by members, we need to adhere to the strictest standards of ethics and governance. Directors Ashlyn Malcolm and Barnett Donaldson explored the importance of ethics and corporate governance to the board, management, members, and the entire financial sector. The team noted that the operations at C&WJ embodies strong corporate governance principles, as illustrated by its listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, which in itself is a demonstration that the organization is being judged at a higher standard. Some of the insight they provided for consideration included a change in board culture to reward competence rather than consensus and conformity, which results in better performing organizations. Smaller boards, which may increase accountability and promote frank discussion, and if needs be, to agree to disagree agreeably, consistently cultivating the tenets of an ethical culture in the operation of the board and ensuring that this is incorporated in the daily function of the organization, which will result in a stronger, more sustainable entity. One of the things as a board we have been looking at, which is outside of the work being done by the 5 groups, is the matter of board tenure. We see this as an important part of the overhaul, restructuring, and repurposing work that is being undertaken. Subject to the approval of the AGM, we'll be proposing an increase in board term to up to 3 years while retaining the 3-term maximum. Importantly, this change will set into motion a cycle where 1/3 of the board members retire at each AGM. Taken with the other proposed initiatives, the board will become a more effective institution. I can report then that there are exciting days ahead. We are on course to become a more strategic, focused board. Yes, we are a board that is ignited by purpose, sustained by passion, and guided by principles. On behalf of the graduates, I express my profound thanks to the School of Greatness, the faculty, and Alex in particular for so ably guiding us through to this certification. Alex, the man with endless energy, drive, and passion, we thank you, sir. To our president, Austin Brown, who, along with the CEO, Mrs. Joyce West Johnson, saw the need for this course and made it happen. Austin, you have been selected for a time such as this. We applaud your vision and drive in taking us on this path of growth and renewal. Allow me to use this platform to recognize one of our own, Board Treasurer Ashlyn Malcolm, who demits the board when her tenure comes to an end at the next AGM. Hers has been a sterling contribution to the board, the Office of Treasurer, the CNWJ Cooperative Credit Union, and the wider movement. Ashlyn is a dignified professional who has inspired me personally in the way she goes about her duties as a volunteer. We salute you, Ashlyn. You will leave an indelible mark on the movement. Blessing and very best wishes to everyone. The Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions, the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, the faculty at the International School of Greatness, board members and management team from Jamaica and St. Lucia, and especially to my fellow graduates. We promise to implement all aspects of our learnings in making our respective credit unions the very best it can be. God bless and walk good, and I thank you.